if there's too much known, if we're just resting in what we already know and what we already do and who we already are, there's no growth. There's no forward momentum. There's nothing to bring us alive. You know, nothing to bring us alive. And we really need to step into some kind of evolutionary trajectory as human beings, because that's what brings us alive and brings us, you know, our most fulfilled, meaningful states. And it also means that we actually do something. We bring something of value to the world around us, you know, firstly ourselves and then those people around us, and maybe that ripples out, you know, into immeasurable places. And so if we're just living within the known, what we already know, who we already are and what we already do, it's not a recipe for the deepest potential that a human being can explore within themselves and for their lives. But if we're able to then step into the unknown, if we're able to, and I like to put this, we reach towards something that we can reach, but we have to stretch to get there. Now, that's the kind of space between the known and the unknown that we need to come into. So with those I work with, this is the place I encourage them or lead them into, the place that we want to live. Because when you're in that stretch, which is the right stretch, because it's just that place, you just have to stretch to get there. And if we're often in a place where we're stretching to get there, we seem to come alive. It's what can be referred to as proximal development. There needs to be the proximity between where you are, where you want to get to, that's just perfect for you to actually move forward and grow. And like I say, come alive. Human beings come alive when they're growing. Human beings come alive when they're in that perfect stretch for them. They get inspired when they're in that perfect stretch for them. Because within that stretch is challenge and accomplishment. And when you're in the stretch of challenge and accomplishment, we come alive. There's something that just ignites within us. That's where fulfillment is. That's where meaning is. That's where shit gets done. That's where we grow. That's really where we are at our happiest, is in that stretch. And so the balance between chaos and order for me, from my translation, is within that stretch between the known and the unknown. And if I come back to what I said before about, for me, change happens with the right balance of safety and courage. And I was sharing this with a coach I'm training at the moment, and saying that this is the art of encouragement for a coach, is to be able to find how much safety and how much courage that an individual needs in order to move forward in the best way for them. And for some people, there needs to be a bit more safety. Some people needs to be a bit more courage, but there has to be both. There really needs to be both. And again, in self-help, we're often going far too much towards safety and far too much towards compassion, okay? Which seems like a nice idea, but compassion isn't always the right course. Challenge and courage is sometimes what we need. And in self-help, we are gravitating towards the safety so much because it's easy to invite people there. It's easy to invite people into the known, into the safety, into the you're good enough and you're always doing your best. And these kind of saccharine self-help platitudes are too much safety, okay, too much safety. And that leads to people not actually growing and going around in cycles and cycles, while perhaps having language that they've picked up in self-help, which is saying, yeah, I'm doing this, but when actually the evidence of what shows up in life and the decisions they make and how they respond to it is one of the same cycle of struggle perhaps they've always been in, just in different forms and with different languages. And that's because we don't just need the safety, we need the courage. We need the right balance of safety to be able to connect with that courage and move forward. Again, it's that stretch, okay? So in this analogy, the safety is the known, the courage is the unknown. The safety is the order and the courage is the chaos. And we need to get into that stretch. Now, it's different for everybody. And this is why I was picking this up with one of my training coaches, because the art of encouragement is to be able to find that sweet spot between safety and courage, which leads to those steps and those leaps forward. And for us, it's for us to find as well, what is our sweet spot? Where is the stretch between safety and courage that means we can step and leap forward?